Well, there's one last stop on the road to the Sim Racing Expo, the 10th anniversary, happening in just, would you believe it, 4 weeks' time, 18th to the 20th of October, live from Messe Dortmund in Hall 3. But we've got one more online race before we have the season finale of the 2024 ADAC Digital GT500. And welcome along to the live broadcast here on the ADAC SimRacing Expo YouTube and Twitch channels. You join Alex Goldschmidt, now reunited with his partner in crime, back from his travels from Snetterton last week. Good evening, Kieran McGinley.
Good evening, Alex. Good evening, everyone. Great to be back, and I'm looking forward to picking up this GT500 story where we left off. Of course, lots to talk about from the last race. Obviously, now we've had 6 different winners in 6 races. 2012 F1 season. Eat your heart out.
Yeah, and we've still got this and another 2 to go at the Live Expo finale on the 20th of October, which will curtail the 3 days of live streaming with some fantastic panels, some fantastic guests. There's new tech. There's over 70 exhibitors. We are literally full to bursting point. So for those that want to remember, want a little bit of a refresher, the format of the ADAC Digital GT500. It's all about adaptability. The car this week, the plucky Mazda MX-5 Global Cup car. The circuit, it's the full variation of Circuito de Navarra in Spain, which measures about 2.7 miles. So we're going to see around about laps close to 1:55, 2 minutes. But a lot of long straights, a lot of high braking zones, and a lot of technicality as well, Kieran.
Yeah, and perfect to go racing in the MX-5s as well. I think it's physically impossible not to have a good race in an MX-5. They proved it at Daytona time and time again. You put those plucky MX-5s up against each other, they're going to provide some great racing no matter where you put them.
Yeah, exactly. Looking at things as they are, we still have this, and we also have the finale. So every single round of the ADAC Digital GT500 has been about adaptability. Very much like in real life when the 1950s and the 1960s, you had the likes of John Surtees, Bruce McLaren, Jim Clark, Sir Sterling Moss, all racing anywhere and anything. And we brought that here, thanks to our good friend and one of the people as part of the team, Danny Juicer. So there is the circuit. It's 3.89 kilometers long, and based in Los Arcos at 421 meters above sea level. So the format will be a qualifying session, then we'll have a 10, well, we've had 10 lap sprint races, so we're going to have race 1, which will be set by qualifying, and then we'll have the top 20 reverse grid. Well, we're going to have a full capacity grid of 20 cars tonight. Of course, drop scores has been put in place, but so far the winners have been, if I can remember off the top of my head, Sven Haase, Thomas Cope, Luis Bellica, Octavio Rondeletto, points leader Jarno Koch, and then Johan Rouillet, who won the the last race that we had, which was, funnily enough, of all places, Second de Ledeno on the Ray Formula Ford 1600, which was, it reminded me of karting quite a bit, if I'm completely honest with you, Kieran. But you know what? We've got this and the event finale, the season finale in 4 weeks' time, where we give away a total prize fund spread over the top 20 of €5,000, a cool €1,000 to the series winner. Do you think this fairy tale story of different winners per race is set to continue, or could we have a little bit of a spanner in the works thrown tonight?
Well, as you said, it's all about adaptability, and the fact that we've had 6 different winners in 6 different races just underlines the fact that the whole grid is being shaken up time and time again. I wouldn't rule out another different winner, although, yeah, I can see a repeat winner happening here tonight before we head to the Expo. But what a story that would be if we can take that story to the Expo. Who can be the first repeat winner? We might not even get to solve it at the Expo. Who knows?
It could be just based on consistency, and that's what will win you a championship. So Jarno Koch leads the way on 422 points, ahead of Luis Bellica on 397, just a point ahead of Dino Lombardi. David Bosga and Pablo Espes round out the top 5 in the championship, ahead of Sven Haase, with Simeone Passione and Lorenzo Manfredotti rounding out the top 10. However, we need to help you cast your minds back to round 3 of the series. So here are the highlights of round 3, the halfway point with the Formula Ford 1600 at Circuit de l'Édonnant in France. With tin tops at round 2, we headed to single seaters in the Ray Formula Ford 1600 and Circuit de l'Édonnant for round 3. However, with overcast and muggy conditions, it was difficult for drivers to find their braking points, especially during the opening for Ray in qualifying. A 10-minute, 2-lap single qualifying for all the drivers to put their best lap time down. It was Pablo Espes that became a new pole sitter ahead of points leader Jarno Koch, with AD Lopez rounding out the top 3 after the session. Pablo Espes would lead the field on the first of 10 laps through the opening few corners, being closely followed by Jarno Koch and AD Lopez, who suffered drama and, by lap 3, would find himself at the bottom part of the top 12. Sven Haase, who made his return to the series after missing round 2 last time out, was making good his intentions to secure himself a good position in this first of 2 races here at round 3. Adam Isaacson and Dino Lombardi were also in the mix for at least a top 3 finish, as they would battle tooth and nail as the laps counted down here in France. Espes would put the pressure onto race leader Koch, but then would possibly find himself very much aggravated and assaulted by other drivers. Sven Haase making this fantastic round the outside move and then making it a neat nip up the inside to take second position. But with 1 lap to go, it was all dramas for Isaacson, who collected Espes with just a handful of corners to go, promoting Lombardi to 3rd. Jarno Koch became the 5th different winner so far in the series here in race 1. Race 2 would see Jan Rouvier on the front row on pole position, but a big drama earlier on caught out Marcello Caserta amongst other drivers along with Altrichter in the early goings. Battles once again were closely fought, and this spin here from Felix Votter meant that he would be out of the running for a top 10 finish. Henrik Augustin would be battling away with the likes of Adam Isaacson in 4th and David Bosger, who rounded out the top 3 with 4 out of 10 laps completed. Rouvier, however, was pulling a gap and consistently doing so all the way through the race, whilst everyone else were battling over the scraps on the table. Rondeletto was embroiled in this great battle between himself, Bosger and Lopez that went down to the wire, multiple wheel-to-wheel exchanges and no one taking either of each other out during the course of the race. And even with the fact that Lopez trying to do his best to get past Bosger, Rondeletto trying to do the same, it was all for naught, and they were nearly 3 wide going into turn 1 on the final lap. But Jan Rouvier makes it 6 different winners from 6 different races. Will this trend continue? Let's head to round 4 for GT500 to find out. Well, I really am sometimes not very often. I think you could probably say the same, Kieran. Being at a loss of words, but 6 different winners, 6 different races. 2 races to go tonight. Then we have the finale where we'll be on site, side by side in persona, which will be a nicer change. But also the fact that we really get to understand how this has really changed things up. I mean, you know, from every single driver that I've spoke to over the course of this competition, that they have really, really enjoyed the fact that they haven't had to worry about, oh God, I've got 4 weeks or 3 weeks or however long until the next event, and then go, actually, I can spend 2 hours, enjoy it, possibly maybe get some money in my pocket, and see how I get on. I think that's the whole point about sim racing. It's about the fun aspect. You know, the competition is one bit, but the fun, and especially if you have got friends that are on what's happening on the same server, you can all sort of like get together and, you know, have the bants and, you know, the giggles like little children after the racing, but you're still going to be ultra competitive against one another when you're on the sim.
Yeah, it's when that sim visor goes down, it's a case of it's all going to be left out on the virtual track. And the fact that our drivers don't have a lot of time to prepare, don't have a lot of time to get acquainted with the car they're going to be using around the track that is going to be used for the drivers, it just adds that sense of well, actually, you don't get weeks to practice, you get hours to practice. So that adds to the element as well. And as you said at the top of the stream, it's all about testing the the malleability of these drivers. How adaptable are they? Can they adapt to new challenges, new cars, new circuits, etc.? And as you already alluded to as well, it's going to test consistency, and consistency with these all different winners is going to be key to winning this championship.
Well, qualifying now officially underway. 10 minutes on the timer. So let's see if we can head trackside to the Circuito de Navarra for our penultimate round of the 2024 ADAC Digital GT500. And, well, there are just... there's the number 6 of David Bosger. Now, I know that there was a recent development because someone on our competition actually got recently announced as a new part of the Williams Esports Academy. I'm trying to remember the name of the driver, but it was a little while ago. I'm trying to remember now, but they might find out who it is in due course. But yeah, someone became part of the Williams Esports Academy. But yeah, solo qualifying session, 2 laps. I think is again just a format that really helps us as well, doesn't it? In terms of seeing who's going to be, flat out brilliant on a 1 lap, and then you get the others that come through during the racing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've just had a check. You're absolutely right. It was Pablo Espes who's been signed up.
There we go.
Academy. Yeah. So absolutely spot on there. So yeah, we'll definitely keep an eye on the new Williams Esports Academy signing. On board, the 95 there, so that's going to be Leon Harhoff. His way through on board then. Leon here yet to win a race here in the GT500, so he definitely could be a driver to watch tonight. He's got to be making sure though he gets himself a really good spot on this grid.
Yeah, that's the key point, and he's not the only one that's been doing double duty on this. I mean, Thomas Cope, we've seen in competition in both the Asetek Simsports Community Trophy, and then of course the first couple of rounds. And I think out of everybody, Leon Harhoff has been the one that's actually attended all the rounds, both the Community Trophy and the GT500. He has been openly honest about the fact that iRacing is quite new, still very much alien-esque to him, if you will. But the good thing is that he is, like any good sim racer, will always just give it your all and see what happens.
Which is the whole point of the series.
Yeah.
Well, give it your all, see what happens, and as you've already said, you could come away with a bit of prize money to win as well. So, yeah, really good to see drivers just absolutely launch into these Mazda MX-5s. And of course, in iRacing, the MX-5 is one of the first cars you get to drive. So we're really going back to basics here in iRacing.
That's what I love, back to basics. Like, go back to your roots. And that very much is the case. So just waiting for the first couple of lap times to be set in. Air temperature 25.5 degrees, 36 track temp, partially cloudy. We are a third of the way through the session. First lap times looks to be coming in from Simone Maria Marciano, Adam Isaacson. There is the current points leader, Jano Koch. Currently 80% of the way through the lap, so we are using the full 2.66 mile layout. So this will be pack racing at its finest, and it won't be Wolf pack racing, it'll be MX-5 pack racing, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, and plenty of straights to use as well. You've got the long start-finish straight as Jano Koch makes his way across the line to now go quickest with a 1 minute 56.2. So it's a long lap here at the Circuito de Navarra, and Jano Koch starts his second and final qualifying lap here as the lap times are coming in thick and fast. Yeah,
so Octavio Rondoletto, winner of race 2 at Oschersleben, having that great battle with the one of our I think it was Ross McFarlane, who was in the competition back there. But you see Jano Koch kicking up the dust, going through the very, very twisty stuff. So this is now going to be through the right at 7, I believe. Or there's Adam Isaacson as Dino Lombardi moves up to 8th. Sven Haase returns with a bang and straight up to provisional pole and goes 2/10 quicker than Jano Koch. Of course, Sven Haase, one of the most experienced drivers in the field. He's been around for a very, very long time in sim racing, but still loves to compete, still gets that adrenaline buzz like everybody does. Adam Isaacson could have had a better race one at Lebanon, if I'm completely honest, had he not had that big old clash with Pablo Espes on the final lap. But hopefully he can make a bit of an amends coming into it. But he has just aborted his second lap. Sven Haase has just aborted his second lap, and we've only got 5 minutes and 40. So you really need to be out, I think, what, 3.5 minutes before the end of the session if you need to put in another lap?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so it gives you time, plenty of time on side to get the warm-up in. It's going to be a long out lap, just making sure that you get everything all in place. As here is Sergio Ferrero making his way around the final corner to complete what will be his second lap, currently on a 1 minute 56.516. 555 makes its way across the line. Ade Lopez onto the second row, third fastest there. Ferrero does improve on lap time, but not in position.
Yeah, you're always trying to find those thousandths or hundreds. As a bit wayward there for Leon Harhoff. He's still getting used to the dynamics of the physics for iRacing, but that's not easy, especially when you are a specialist in another platform. R Factor 2 seems to be his thing. Lewis Belliker, the race 1 winner at round 2 at Oschersleben, just goes up to 11th. That's his qualifying spell done. So he's going to start outside of the top 10. A lot of drivers, so Sven Haase still has an opportunity to do another lap. Ade Lopez, well, is showing 2.5 laps complete, 2.5 laps completed. Lorenzo Manfredotti moves up to 11th, so dropping Bellica down to 12th. So at the moment, Marciano, Espes, Ferrero, Lombardi, Passioni, Manfredotti, Bellica, Angelmo, Jatautas, Rondeletto, Verta, Krucken. They've all done their 2 laps. But some drivers still looking to hopefully have the opportunity. Here's Ade Lopez. Quite handy in a Formula Ford 1600 last time out in race 1. Race 2 didn't really go his own way, but there he is using as much of the road and then some as he's making his way into the final few corners. So this will be the left at turn 14, into the tight right-hand hairpin at 15, and then swing the car out wide. Long run down to the start-finish line.
Yep, let's see what sort of lap time he can put. Well, he's maybe just doing a bit of scouting at the moment because he can't set another lap time. So he stays third, of course, at 1 minute 56.256. Here's Leon Harhoff then, who now makes his way towards the start-finish line. A bit of a scrappy first sector, really, from Harhoff as he makes his way across the line then. Does he improve? No, not this time. So he'll stay at P18.
So, top 17 rounded out by 9.5 tenths. A second covers the top 18. The entire field covered by 1.4 seconds. We knew it was going to be close, but not that close. But even Sven Haase, after 1 lap, has went, yeah, you know what? That's enough for me. And it just goes to show that there are some drivers that have full confidence in their abilities and can just go, yep, let's see what happens. Of course, the main thing that we have is we have nice panoramic shots, to be honest with you. And a big thank you to the partners of the ADAC SimRacing Expo 10th anniversary for 2024. Asetek Simsports, Gridfinder, Logitech G, SimStaff, Traction.gg, and Ready, Set, Sim. Of course, we've had some recent announcement that D-Box will be back this year, amongst others. 70 exhibitors probably the best part of 200 simulators available, including our good friends from Actoracer. Now, that is a simulator I would recommend you getting into if you get the opportunity. So now the timer is counting down, and we are pretty much out for the count here in qualifying. So Sven Haase with a 1:56.023 picks up pole position for the first race of the penultimate round. Oh, that's rather mouth-watering, if I do say so myself, Kieran.
Absolutely. Sven Haase on pole, Jarno Koch alongside, both previous race winners. Ade Lopez key to get a lap time or at least a win on the board, with Simone Marchero alongside on the second row. Should be a good one. We'll see if the different winners in different races get ended tonight.
Well, let's find out, shall we, folks? Sven Haase starts for Grid & Go Esports, gridandgo.com Esports on the front row. Jarno Koch alongside for close company. Ade Lopez, Simone Marcheno, new Williams Esports Academy driver, Pablo Espes, joined by SimRC's Adam Isaacson. Sergio Ferrero and Dino Lombardi, row 4, with David Bosca and Simone Passioni rounding out the top 10. Lorenzo Manfredotti and Luis Bellica from the Apex Racing Academy round out the top 12 positions. Daniel Ingelmo, Harodas Chataltas, Octavio Rondaletto, Hendrik Augustin, Johan Huye, Leon Harhoff, Felix Vetter, and Tobias Kochen round out the 20-strong grid. So they are all gridded up, and we are primed like coil springs, Mr. McGinley, aren't we, for the race start?
Aren't we just? Let's get this one underway. MX-5s normally give us some fantastic racing. I'm sure this will be absolutely no different when we get this underway.
Yes, indeed. So we are very shortly going to be finding out what's going on. So it is going to be a rolling start. The iRacing Porsche pace car is leading the field. So it's going to be down to when Sven Haase from gridandgo.com Esports pulls away from the rest of the field, because the red lights are on the gantry, and once the Porsche pace car pulls away, which it does now, it's going to be a case of seeing when Sven Haase decides to punch that throttle to the floor, and we may only be a handful of seconds away from that. So through into the right-hander here at turn number 15. Pace car is going to go into the pit lane. Actually, that's the entrance via turn 13. I nearly got ahead of myself there. Nearly jumped the gun, but these drivers are very, very much ready for these two races here at Circuito de Nevada for race 1, round 4 of the 2024 ADAC Digital GT500. Haase on pole, Koch alongside, waiting for Barney the flagman to wave the green. And red lights are on, green flag waves are underway. Sven Haase leads proceedings as Marcheno has Lopez to the inside, running down into the fast right-hand kink here at turn number 1. Jarno Koch might decide to outbrake himself going into T2. That's a very tight right-hand hairpin. Nice run there by Haase. Koch nearly getting the run on him, but we'll have Marcheno to the inside, looking through at turn 4. And, well, Marcheno decides to get a bit tail-happy to avoid the left-hand side of Jarno Koch as they go through at turn 5. Now into the left at 6 for the quick sweep around. Oh, now, someone I just saw exit stage right. That was Adam Isaacson from Sweden.
Not ideal, but Sven Haase managing to just keep himself out of trouble here. Jarno Koch is having a time keeping Simone Marcheno behind him. Pablo Espes also looking to try and pick up the pieces then as we head down the long back straight towards turn 9 then. And just creeping out of that slipstream is Marcheno, looking for a move up the inside. Doesn't get it right though. That allows Pablo Espes to get a much better run out of turn 9 through this long right-hander at turn 10. Put it on the outside for turn 11 though. Keep it there, almost door to door. But Pablo Espes keeps his foot in it and keeps on hold of P4.
Bravo, Pablo Espes. Great little bit of 2 and 8. It's like to me, to you, to me, to you. It's going to be like this all night, folks, on these two races. But we're 80% of the way through the opening lap out of 10. And Sven Haase has a leader over Jarno Koch of around about 0.8 of a second. Ade Lopez, Pablo Espes, Simone Maria Marciano, David Bosca, Simone Passioni, Sergio Ferrero, and Daniel Angelmo with Octavio Rondoletto in number 92, rounding out the top 10. Leon Harhoff, oh my goodness, he's definitely working away at that wheel. He's up 7 places. But here comes Ade Lopez up the inside through into turn number 2. Is he going to be able to rotate it around? Yes, that's a great move by Ade Lopez, but it nearly put him on the back foot, as Jarno Koch would have been very quickly up the inside at the left-hander at turn number 4, heading towards this interesting and very curvaceous turns 5 and 6.
Yeah, it's a tightening radius corner. Easy for me to say as we head away through in towards turn 6 there. Ade Lopez looking to try and press on here. We're going wheel to wheel, side by side with Ferrero there in the 555, trying to find a way past Passione here as we head away now onwards towards turn 8 here before we get ourselves on towards the back straight. Seems like the top 6 have started to break away from the rest of the field. Someone going very wide in the background there. Look at this train here in the battle for P7.
That is incredible to see, as Sergio Ferrero has become the Mazda MX-5 equivalent of Jarno Trulli right about now. He's the cork in the bottle, he's the leader of the train, and he's about, he's about half a second, Passione is about 2.2 seconds behind David Bosca, but Ferrero is only 0.4 behind Passione for 7th. So there is an opportunity for places to be gained here.
Absolutely. The thing about MX-5 racing is it's normally door-to-door action. If you can keep yourself in the lead pack, keep yourself within that draft, you can pull away from the rest of the field. And it's not over until that checkered flag falls. Ade Lopez then gets the full benefit of the hole that Sven Haase is punching through the air here as we make our way onwards towards that sweeping first corner. Pablo Espes ready to pick up the pieces, as too is Jarno Koch, but a battle for the lead. Then Ade Lopez trying to go the long way round, and then look at this, manufacturing that move then. He sends it up the inside of Sven Haase. Haase slightly offline, and with the leaders now side by side.
This is what you want to see. We're on lap 3 out of 10. Pablo Espes in 4th place, has the new fastest lap of the race. Oh, this is going to be precarious going through turn number 5. Oh, heavens to Betsy. Now through into 6. And then a quick change of direction. Someone getting very, very sideways. I think that was Espes there. But it's 3 wide for 3rd place. As David, that is... oh dear me.
Around.
Mamma mia is all I'm saying on that one. That's a real shame, and then has to rejoin rather embarrassingly at the back end of the train on that one after that slight spin. Lopez and Koch still wheel to wheel, and the 34 makes it through.
Nice move from Ade Lopez. Meanwhile, Pablo Espes trying to find a way past Jarno Koch here as we make our way through. He'll have to use the outside line. He might find himself a little bit on the curve through this section, but Espes has made moves around the outside here before as Jarno Koch clatters the curb then. That sleeping policeman on the inside curb there. And that allows Pablo Espes to have the more composed Mazda underneath him to take over P3.
Yeah, bit of... clattering into the sausage curb there it was, wasn't it? So, and that never is good in a car that's got production springs and dampers, which means that the rebound rate, you'll go like, oh, this is a nice low slung car. Yeah, you think, bang, and then all of a sudden you're on your roof. Yeah, things are getting a little bit closer as well towards the front end of the field. Lopez is looking for the race lead up the inside of Haase. Is he going to get it through that turn 1, turn 2 complex? Oh, look at them. Oh, they're all starting to bound off. Oh, hello. Lopez blinked and then came back again. Haase went up the inside. It looks like that's Pablo Espes in front of Jarno Koch. So, Espes, fastest one out there at the moment. Oh, don't tell me you're going to try that move at turn 5. And into 6, how many times have you seen it before? And it's like, why now Sunday? You know, it's just like, it's incredible how closely respectful these drivers are. And that's also in terms of, you know, the friendly nature towards people, and also the fact, you know, you can be in your own bubble and be with friends and really, really enjoy the racing as it happens. And that's exactly what we're doing here. Johan Rouvier out, unfortunately, after 99% of the opening lap. So the French driver, the one at Circuit de l'Edenant last time out, now has potentially the possibility to consider a drop score here, Kieran.
Yeah, definitely. So he'll be heading into the second race and just seeing what he can do in that moment. See if he can score as many points as possible. But yeah, consider it a drop round as Pablo Espes fills the mirrors there of Ade Lopez going through towards the closing stages of this lap. Then as they make a sweeping left-hander of turn 14 before our drivers size up. Sort of slight incline in towards turn 15. What this battling top four have done, though, is brought the likes of David Bosga, Simone Passione, Ferrero, Rondoletto all into this scrap here, and we're heading down towards turn 1, and Ade Lopez is certainly right behind Sven Haase. Sven Haase thinks about going defensive, but Ade Lopez goes even further up the inside then, through in towards turn 1, grabs the inside line for turn 2. Pablo Espes does the same and gets slightly out of shape on the rear end. Jarno Koch has to send it round the outside if he wants to keep that position, but Ade Lopez takes over the lead from Sven Haase.
That was impressive. Gutsy, ballsy, fling it up the inside at turn 1 and hope it sticks. And Ade Lopez gets the job done. Oh my goodness me. Sven Haase has now got to think about, right, I won the first race of this this competition. I want to be the first repeat winner. We were so close at one point or another that it could have happened actually a little while ago. But the thing is, this is why we love single class racing. Mazda MX-5s are, you know, as a road car, they're awesome to drive, but a race car and one that just everyone can get to grips with. Rather easy to get to understand the cars. We are now very fast approaching the halfway point as Ade Lopez leads Sven Haase by about 3.5 tenths. Then Pablo Espes a further couple of tenths back, a further couple of tenths back to Jarno Koch, and then a further 3.5 tenths back to David Bosga. Apart from Octavio Rondoletto in 8th, who's 1.1 seconds behind Sergio Ferrero, what we've also got is the fact that, I'm looking here, every gap between the top 7, no more than 6 tenths, 9th, 10th and 11th, no more than 7.5 tenths, so quite a big variety. You're now seeing they're starting to try and break the toe. Oh, Ade Lopez, don't start doing that on the start-finish straight, because we know what will happen, Kieran. You'll spin it. It's like a good one.
Yes, absolutely. Well, of course, it's sort of that move of one move off the line, one move back on the racing line as Pablo Espes now up the inside of Sven Haase, clatters the curb though, gets it slightly unsettled. He's still though on the inside, heading away through the third turn, getting the power down now. What's important about these Mazdas is you do not lose that momentum. Yes, they're very good cars to go racing in, but the moment you lose that momentum, lose a couple of places. Sven Haase able to keep it on the inside, but Pablo Espes once again choosing the outside line here, and that tightening radius turn 6, but not quite this time. Sven Haase able to hold the position.
Yeah, exactly the case. And more to the point now that at the minute, out of the top 5, 3/5 of that gaggle have yet to win a race. Ade Lopez, Pablo Espes and David Bosga. None of them have won a race. Neither has Simone Passione, neither has Sergio Ferrero. So, when we look at the top 10, I count 70% of those drivers have yet to win a race in the ADAC Digital GT500. That's quite an important stat, and long may it continue.
Absolutely. Ade Lopez is really on a charge here, but when it comes to MX-5 racing, sometimes you might find it better not to be leading on the final lap, especially around a track like the Circuito de Navarra, where you've got a couple of straights to contend with as well. You don't want to be punching a lovely big hole in the air for your competitors behind you. But as we make our way now through the final corner at the end of the 6th lap worth of racing, we have 4 to go here.
Yeah, and again, the slipstream games continue aplenty down the start-finish straight. And Lopez pulls it to the left-hand side. Haase pulls it to the right. Pulls it to the left-hand side of the circuit. Haase defends from Espers, who's trying to go around the outside at turn 2. Oh, Jarno Koch nearly goes into the kitty litter. Talk about throwing caution to the wind in a literal sense. If your name is Jarno Koch in the number 7 car and you're currently leading the way in the point standings into this round.
Absolutely. Well, this is working favours for Ade Lopez because he knows he can make that move on the straight. It's one defensive line, one move back to the racing line, so completely fair to try and break the toe in what he's doing. That's closing up Sven Haase, Jarno Koch, David Bosger. Only this time, though, we make our way through now on towards the back straight out of turn 8 here. And Sven Haase right now on the back of Ade Lopez. And, well, Ade Lopez... he's not defending this one. Does Haase have a look down the inside heading in towards turn 9? No, not this time.
Yeah, it's still plenty of racing to go for, including this one. And we are nearly 70% of the way through the lap. Pablo Espes in third place still has the fastest lap to his credit, 1 minute 55.545. So these laps have gone by very, very quickly. A lot quicker than I had anticipated, of course. With the way that you have this obligatory small pocket rocket in various different shapes, colours and flavours, and then you've got a circuit like this where it just goes, yeah, I'm going to make you hit the red line, aren't I, in 5th gear? Yeah, you're going to like that. And then you go into turn 1, it's like, well, I don't need to lift, I can lift off a little bit now. And again, we're just seeing these cat and mouse games. 3 to go and Lopez still leads the way.
Yep, at some point he'll try and switch back to the left-hand side here, but it might be too late because Sven Haase is trying to get a move around the outside here now in towards turn 2, right over the curbs for both Lopez and Haase here. They both get slightly out of shape, but Ade Lopez holds on to the lead. Sven Haase in second place, but that's Pablo Espes. He loves this move, though. He loves going round the outside. Watch out, though, as well for Jarno Koch, who's really trying to take advantage there of the top 2 squabbling away. Does he get an inside line there? He runs very close to Pablo Espes on entry there in towards the long right-hander, or sorry, long left-hander there on the exit of turn 5. But it was as you were for the top 4.
So, 2.5 laps remaining in this opening race out of 2. And we flip the script and do it all over again, but with a very, very different order to what we would see just a handful of moments ago. But Ade Lopez still keeping Sven Ole Haase at bay. Pablo Espes, Jarno Koch, David Bosca, Simone Passione, Sergio Ferrero, Octavio Rondeletto, Daniel Ingelmo, and then we've got Hendrik Augustin, who round out the top 10. It's so difficult to pick a winner because when they go, yeah, you get in there, and you know, just have a little bit of a rest, have a little bit of time to yourself, recharge the batteries. For me, like this, she feels like one day, and I'm up, and I'm like, yeah, let's go for it. And that's what these drivers are doing here.
Absolutely, it's constant, isn't it? You've got to be on your toes for the entire race. Ade Lopez has got to be smart about how he approaches this defence as we head now onto the penultimate lap of this race then. Sven Haase looking to try and again use that toe then. He'll once again have to go the long way round in towards the sweeping right-hander of turn 1. But look at Pablo Espes, who's chomping at the bit. He wants to get past as well through in towards turn 2. Sven Haase on the outside, Ade Lopez on the inside of turn 3. Once again, they get the power down. Once again, Ade Lopez tries his best to defend, but this time Haase's found the gap. He's found the hole and he's got through. Sven Haase then takes over the lead, and watch out as well for Pablo Espes in the 11 up the inside now of Ade Lopez, and in the blink of an eye here, Ade Lopez has gone from leading this race to just about on the podium. He's not done though. Down the inside of Pablo Espes through turn 6 now. They're running side by side.
Yeah, next time around we'll have the white flag lap, and it could be down to the wire. Jarno Koch gets through on Ade Lopez for third place. Pablo Espes in second, trying to chase down Sven Ole Haase at the front row.
Out as well, though, for the battling third place, Jarno Koch and Ade Lopez. Ade Lopez trying to hold his own there, trying now to hold on to third place as Sven Olehasa now in the lead of this one. Pablo Espes in second place, but look at this, we're almost 3 wide now on the exit of turn 13 and 14 now. That we're back on the power once again. Sven Haase running wide, Ade Lopez running wide. It's great battling, but this battling for third place is allowing the top 2 to just break away slightly. Sven Haase will lead the pack then on the final lap, onto the final.
So it is going to be a long run, 2.45 kilometers in total, 3.9 kilometers in length when it comes to the different imperial and metric units. Buddy the Flag Marshal, welcome back, buddy.
Then Sven Haase holding on to the lead, but there up the inside there is Jarno Koch trying to find a way past Ade Lopez. Sven Haase managing to keep Pablo Espes at bay then at the time being. Sven Haase holding on now as they make the run there. Watch out as well for David Bosga, who fancies a couple of chances as well. Pablo Espes once again through turn 5 fancies the outside line. Sven Haase makes sure that can't happen through in towards turn 6. Espes jumping at the heels here to try and find his way through. Sven Haase, though, once again leads the pack now onto the back straight. This has got to be a great opportunity for Pablo Espes here to pick up the toe from Sven Haase. Can he try and make this move stick?
Well, Espes is going to send it round to the outside at a tight hairpin. Can he get that crossover done? Not quite. They're going to go through into the next right-hander. Ade Lopez back in the fray. Jarno Koch in the fray. David Bosga, Simone Passione, Octavio Rondeletto, and Sergio Ferrero. As we're on the white flag lap, Haase still holding on to that race lead, but not for much longer, possibly into the next right-hander. This is going to be the run that's going to be very, very important. Haase runs wide. Espes takes a little bit more neat and kind on that particular occasion. Lopez, Koch, and Bosga. Oh, and that is... Oh, now that was a little bit of contact. That was a little bit of a contact, but look at the run to the line. Is Ade Lopez going to take it from Sven Haase at the line? It's going to be across to the checkered. Ade Lopez makes it 7 from 7.72 thousandths.
Wow. Wow. What a finish to that race. And that all happened. Ade Lopez there. Contact made at the final corner. Certainly that will probably go to review. But Ade Lopez takes full advantage, picks up those pieces. And as you said, Alex, makes it 7 winners from 7 races.
Can you... I don't know what to say anymore. I am at a blank. My mind is like a blank canvas at the moment. But... Ade Lopez, by nothing, by absolutely nothing. Probably the edge of the front splitter on that Mazda MX-5 just beat Sven Haase on a pure drag race. That's what it was. David Bosga, Jarno Koch, and Simone Passione round out the top 5. Pablo Espes, I think that was a little bit unfortunate. Not too sure how it might be seen, possibly as a racing incident, because you have to consider that Sven Haase had quite a few other drivers alongside Pablo Espes at the time, but Pablo Espes can hold his head up high. He took the fastest lap of the race, 1:55.545. But yeah, bring on race 2. Yeah. I want an 8th different winner.
At this rate, we might be getting it, because now we switch everything up. All 20 drivers now. Reverse grid. So
oh no.
That'll be pretty interesting to see the likes of Ade Lopez, Sven Haase try and make their way through the field. But yeah, that was brilliant racing. And yeah, at the final corner, obviously you had Pablo Espes wanting to make the move around the outside. He knew that was his final chance, and so that's when he tried to throw it around the outside. Didn't quite work this time, but it still picks up P7.
Yeah, here's the provisional results for round 4, race 1. Ade Lopez becomes the 7th different winner so far, beating Sven Ole Haase from gridandgo.com esports by 76 thousandths. David Bosger, Jano Koch, Simone Passione, Octavio Rondoletto, Pablo Espes, Sergio Ferrero, Hendrik Augustin, and Daniel Ingelmo rounding out the top 10. Good work by Leon Harhoff to make it up to 11th, ahead of Felix Witter, Luis Bellica, Tobias Kuchen, Lorenzo Manfredotti, Harodas Chatautas for Over the Limit Racing, Simone Marciano, and Adam Isaacson round out the top 18. We had a couple of other drivers that were competing in that, so just waiting for it to scroll up, and then we can see who finished 19th and 20th. But there you go, Dino Lombardi and Johan Rouillet. Now, I'm going to say something quite pivotal here, folks. Johan Rouvier was absolutely dynamite at Circuit de l'Ardennais in the Formula Ford 1600 in race 2. Led every single corner, right up to the checkered flag. I think there could be a possibility if that no one gets past Johan Rouillet on the start, through the first maybe, say, half a lap, then I think Rouillet could be the first two-time race winner in this competition. And that is an exciting prospect, but it's also one that I think, not just me, not just you, Kieran, but I think the fans out there want to see another dose of unpredictability with this car and circuit combination.
Yeah, absolutely, and don't forget as well, we had Simone Marciano run into a little bit of issues early on in the race. He also had a moment at turn 8, I believe it was. So he's starting all the way now at the front of the order. I believe he'll be starting from P4 if we're looking at the results reverse. So he's definitely going to be on a mission here to grab a race victory. And once again, he might be in the running to be the 8th from 8.
Oh, my goodness me. Could that possibly happen? Folks, let us know in the chat. Are we going to have our first two-time race winner of the 2024 ADAC SimRacing Expo? Okay, I'm going to say yes, I want another race winner. Kieran?
I think I'm going 8 for 8 as well.
So, yeah, no sitting on the fences there from either of us, folks, that we both want to have these drivers go head-to-head as the check-in is out for the 3-minute warm-up in between. So, round 4, race 2. Let's get you through the grid. Johan Rouillet starts from pole position alongside Dino Lombardi on the front row. Adam Isaacson, Simone Maria Marciano, row 2. Harodas Chatautas, Lorenzo Manfredotti, Tobias Kuchen, Luis Bellica, Felix Witter, and Leon Harhoff round out the top 10. Daniel Ingelmo, Henrik Augustin round out the top 6 rows ahead of Sergio Ferrero, Pablo Espes, Octavio Rondoletto, Simone Passione, Jano Koch, David Bosger, Sven Haase, and Andy Lopez. David Lopez rounding out the 20-strong grid. Oh, this is going to be another rolling start, and I'm chomping at the bit here, Kieran. I can't wait.
Neither can I. Let's get this rolling. As you said, Johan Rouillet has won last time out, didn't he? As you said, led every lap, led every corner, managed to build a 4-second gap thanks to those battling behind him that helped him along the way. But he still had to keep it on the road, so keep an eye on that number 99 there. The number 99 hasn't it in, so we might not see Johan, unfortunately. So Dino Lombardi's going to have the front row all to himself.
Yeah, and drivers can be penalised for being outside a position. It happens in real-life motorsport. It can also happen in sim racing. So with that sudden development, Johan Rouillet, I would imagine that it's probably going to end. He probably didn't get there in time, and then ended up saying, "Oh, I'm going to have to stop from the pits." But stranger things have happened. I've had it where drivers have disconnected during a formation lap due to their internet going down, peripherals going down, software failing, even electricity giving up the ghost. But drivers now make their way out of turn number 13. Porsche safety car in the pits for the 8th time this season. Well, not all of this season, because the Formula Ford 1600s where all standing starts. But with the Mazdas, we go good old 2x2 karting style with regards to the race start itself. It's Dino Lombardi and Adam Isaacson on the front row. Red light should be on shortly, and then when they go out will be green. Red lights are on, everyone starts accelerating over the start-finish line, and the lights are out, and Dino Lombardi leads the field into T1, closely followed by Marciano Isaacson looking up the inside into turn 1. Now into the tight right-hander here at 2. Jatautas trying to go around the outside. Bellica is also getting his elbows out, but Lombardi leads the way and has opened up already a half-second gap.
Could have taken any line he wanted to, could Lombardi, with a free spot next to him on the front row. Watch out as well for Manfredotti, Lorenzo Manfredotti. Really got his move on, got his groove on there to try and make up a couple of positions. Marciano also trying to fight his way through the field. Watching on as well, Luis Bellica, who's looking to try and get a race win under his belt. It would be a repeat win if Luis Bellica could make his way to the front of the order. How about those behind him? Well, we've got one off there. Number 14, that's Tobias Kruken.
I think you might be right. Yes, that is the case. Oh, dive bomb here from Bellica up the inside. And that's going to be on Marciano. Manfredotti trying to move away. And Bellica, into the next left-hander. The tight left-hander here. I think that's turn number 11 as they go through the 90 left here at 12. Then the run through into turn number 13. Oh, and that's Passioni! Passioni around.
Such a shame for Passioni. And, well, he'll look to try and get back going again to at least try and be a little part of the action once again as Marciano trying to fight his way through, trying to go up the inside now of Luis Bellica, but gets out of shape out of the final corner. Did they touch? I'm not too sure. What I do know is it's Jotautas has got a great run, looking to try and take full advantage. You might see a little bit of bump drafting as well from the Mazda MX-5. It's almost like they're built for bump drafting, but Dino Lombardi leads the field then after the first lap worth of racing then, and yes, Jotautas has moved himself now up into 5th place as there's Verta trying to go around the outside here as looking to try and his way through then. Marciano trying to hold off this pack, and look at that, Pablo Espes has now joined onto this battle, looking to swoop his way around the outside of Verta.
Yep, Espes is now making that 7 places. Oh, he's round the outside of Felix Verta. That's at turn 5. Incredible stuff from the recent new signing for the Williams Esports Academy team. Incredible stuff. And Jatautas gets a tag slapper. Might have had a little bit of a rub on the rear bumper by Espes inadvertently, but that was because the number 11 was carrying the momentum through the corner. Sometimes you can get caught out by that, but look at the train. I see 17 cars covered by 6.9 seconds, and Espes up the inside of Jatautas. That's 6th and climbing.
Brilliant move from Pablo Espes there, saw the opportunity, and look at that, that's left the door open there for Verta in the 26 as he looks to try and take full advantage of that. Back on the power for Felix Verta. He'll have to go round the outside of turn 12 if he wants to keep that move, which he does, and does keep that move. So really good, optimistic and critical driving then from Felix Verta to pick up those pieces left behind in the battle, and it's got him a position up to P7.
Wow, this, I thought the Formula Ford 1600s at Lebanon were pretty stand out, and now we've got it with the MX-5s. Again, just another, as Kieran rightly said, it is one of the introductory cars you get to race on here on the iRacing service. That's not how you go off on the track. I think that was a little bit further back, whoever was coming out of that final corner. But Adam Isaacson now closing in on Dino Lombardi for the race lead. 2 tenths separate them as they come through in towards the right-hander here at T3, and now start to accelerate. Isaacson ahead of Manfredotti and Bellica, but it's 3 different teams represented in the first 3 cars. Lombardi, Isaacson and Manfredotti. So Isaacson is the Swedish meatball in the sandwich, so to speak, between the Italian ciabatta bread surrounding him.
A Swedish meatball in an Italian Hearty Italian, I guess you could say.
You could say that if you went to Subway, wouldn't you?
Absolutely. Other sandwich stores are available, of course.
Yes. Your preference counts, of course, Mr. Customer.
Well, Isaacson wants to lead the way, doesn't he? He's in the draft now of Dino Lombardi as they now make their way down in towards turn 9 here. Not quite close enough this time. Manfredotti and Bellica also looking to battle away for third place, although they're in similar liveried cars. They may not take team orders too seriously at this point. There are points just for individual. There is no team championship. All racing for each other as Ade Lopez has moved himself now up into 12th place. Sven Haase is up into the top 10. So good start, good opening here from Sven Haase. It's always going to be tough battling your way through when you're a part of a 4 or 5 car train at the front of the order, where overtaking was tricky at the best of times. Haase into the top 10, and he's keen and eager to just pick up as many points as he possibly can.
Yeah, he wants to reduce that gap between himself and Jarno Koch. As Isaacson runs wide coming out of turn 15, we now complete lap 3, and we've got this and, well, including this one, 7 to go. So it is going to be very much the case of who's the bravest of the brave at the moment. Isaacson's really putting the pressure on Lombardi through turn 2, up the short chute into the right at 3. And now it's bringing in Manfredotti, Bellica, Marciano and Espes. Oh my goodness me, Espes, he's like the person that won't let you leave the house. If you're at a house party, he'll be the one that will always talk to you. Well, he's been making such great progression. Biggest movers and shakers so far. Pablo Espes started 14th, now 6th. Sven Ole Haase and Ade Lopez both up 9 spots apiece. Haase started 19th, Lopez started 20th. Well, what can you say about that? Some really, really good racecraft being demonstrated here at Circuito de Navarra in Spain.
Absolutely, and it's the fact that grid is, well, we saw the top 20, all 20 drivers separated by just 1.4 seconds. It's always going to be tough to get the moves done here in these Mazda MX-5s when the field is so closely competitive. Dino Lombardi leading Isaacson then as we make our way now towards turn 12 for the 4th time of asking. Manfredotti in 3rd place, Bellica in 4th, Marciano in 5th, Pablo Espes rounding off the top 6, and it's a case here of Pablo Espes knows there's a race win on the cards here, but he's got 5 cars to get past in 5 and a bit laps.
I think there's every possibility, and our broadcast director, Ryan Gill, has just whispered in our ears saying, I think he might do it, Espes. But there has been drama because Leon Harhoff's dropped. Oh no, Harhoff has dropped the ball and he's ended up in 17th place. Meantime, okay, get this. Top 6, folks, covered by 1.5 seconds. Verta has got Jatautas to the inside, and Jatautas is through. Ade Lopez is swapping positions like nobody's business. And there goes Simone Marciano up the inside of the race 1 winner at round 2 at Motorsport Arena Oschersleben. Espes nearly making it 3 wide, and he's blocked in Marciano into the next left-hander. That's brilliant tactical work from the number 11 to get up to P5. Next on his hit list, Luis Bellica.
Nice driving there from Pablo Espes as he looks to just capitalise and keep pressing on here. As you say, next target for him is Luis Bellica. Now makes his way out of turn 8, then on towards the back straight towards turn 9. Very much on the cards here. Sven Haase, meanwhile, up into 8th place. Just him in the background there, behind the black and white car of Jatautas. That's the battle for 7th place. So Sven Haase has to make his way past the Lithuanian of Haraldas Jatautas, and then he's got to close in by 3 seconds to get onto the back of this order. So it's a tough ask, but the top 6 keep on squabbling the way they do. Sven Haase can put in those lap times and start to just chip away at the gap.
So we're going to have a look back at what happened to Leon Harhoff. Right. So there he is. Oh, that was in the inside of Ade Lopez. Oh! That was a code brown and then some, but luckily enough, he held the brakes hard enough on to stop at the apex of the hairpin, coming through the final corner. That was Code Brown, clean up on aisle 3, and oh, mum, I need to check my underpants all in one fell swoop.
And all of the above, and maybe a bit more as well. But Pablo
Yeah,
Espes,
you're right.
Pablo Espes closing and closing on Luis Bellica. Look at this though, Isaacson trying to go for a move for the lead. Then Pablo Espes wants to gain up the inside here as he looks to go for aggression in towards turn 2.
Isaacson's got it! Isaacson's got the lead! Oh my God!
You don't know where to look in this race. It's
I know, it's crazy. It was just like the Formula Fords last time out, but it also with race 2 of round 4 of the Asetek Simsports Community Trophy, which saw Joe Viglione take the win on the final lap. Pablo Espes nearly gets hung out to dry, but look at the move he's making on Marcheno. Marcheno makes a move, makes a slight mistake on the sausage curbs. Could it be 2 in 2 corners for Espes? Oh, and that is Marcheno's engine gone! Marcheno's engine is gone! Smoke billowing from the back end of the exhaust.
No, was that a misshift perhaps? The engine asking too much of revs. That could well have been a misshift there, unfortunately, for Marcheno. So he's ruled himself out of a potential race win here. But Pablo Espes hasn't really made any progress because the moves he was trying to make, he actually went back a position going in towards turn 8 there and managed to make the position up that he lost. So he hasn't made any ground into the leaders, but that's one fewer car to worry about at this stage of the race.
But at such a pivotal point as well, because Marcheno was doing so well, you know, keeping with the top 6, and now we're down to a quintet of drivers, but it's the top 3 that are really starting to pull away. But Adam Isaacson doing a fantastic move on someone of the experience and the caliber of Dino Lombardi. You know, we both know of his exploits with multiple different teams, one of which being Williams Esports as well, being you know, one past home of his. But you can now see that Manfred Dotti is also wanting something of this. Espes through at turn 2, launches it like a guided ICBM missile. Oh, there's contact! Oh, Manfred Dotti and Lombardi have come together on turn 3. Ah.
A contact there. Don't think I got quite the best view of that one, but we'll leave that one to the stewards and we'll call the action. Pablo Espes though, and Luis Bellica still battling away for position. What that's done though is it's handed 2 free positions to the likes of Espes and to Bellica then, who can move up the order. Sven Haase meanwhile up into 5th place, 2.4 seconds back now from 4th place driver Lorenzo Manfredotti. So coming into the closing stages of this race, can Sven Haase chance on the podium here? He's going to have to work for this one. What are his last lap times like? 55.9 from Manfredotti last time around compared to Bellica's 56.5, so about half a second quicker on the last lap. But now that Sven Haase has a bit of clean air ahead of him, can he put the hammer down? Can he get some positions up the order?
Yeah, Ade Lopez now has made a resurgence back up to 10th position, behind the now recovering Dino Lombardi. Lombardi took the brunt end from whatever angle I saw, to be honest with you, with the contact with Manfredotti. And that was very, very unfortunate. You know, this is close, hard but fair single make racing. Obviously, the drivers on the circuit at the moment might agree to disagree, for want of a better term, when they have a chat with the students. But for us here, as commentators and spectators of this is a perfect segue into the ADAC Digital GT500 finale, live from the ADAC SimRacing Expo. It's the last bit of racing action, and the last bit of the 3 days of streaming from the Dortmund Messe. Side by side, that's Passione and Ingelmo going wheel to wheel down the start-finish straight. Isaacson has now got a lead of 8.5 tenths of a second plus change over Pablo Espes, who in turn has got 6 tenths over Bellica. Manfredotti nearly another 6 tenths back. There's Lopez and Lombardi at it again. Wurter's now up to 8th. Bosga's 11th. Ferrero 12th. Henrik Augustin from Carlisle Esports from Germany rounds out the top 13 ahead of Octavio Rondeletto and Simone Passione, who had that big off-track earlier on in the race. But it doesn't matter where you look on a one-make series around a particular circuit. There are battles up and down the order, Kieran.
Absolutely, that's what MX5 Racing is all about. Wherever you look, there's going to be a battle. Wherever you're looking, it could even be for P13 for Augustine and Rondeletta, who are going to be scrapping away for 13th place in the field. It's just as good as a battle as the one up front. Sven Haase, meanwhile, has not made inroads in catching Manfredotti at this stage. The gap's still 2.7 seconds at the moment. So the top four have really broken away from the pack and have stayed as the breakaway.
That's very, very true. We will very shortly be coming up to the second from last lap. There is Jarno Koch being chased down by the likes of Felix Vetter. As well, Vetter is behind Koch, Jatautas and Haase just in front. Yeah, like you said, that there's become a bit of a stalemate for Sven Ole Haase. Unfortunately, you know, he's had a couple of laps probably that haven't gone quite his way. But it still means that Adam Isaacson, who was Mr. Zero at Circuit de l'Edenot, is on course to being Mr. Hero. 2 laps remain here at Circuito de Navarro in the Mazda MX-5. Jatautas in the middle of Haase, Vetter up the inside through at turn 2. All they're banging sidewalls and paint at the same time. Brilliant stuff. But Vetter launched it.
Absolute elbows out there. I think that's actually Jarno Koch who's getting a position there. He knows that was a bit of a borderline desperation because he knows Sven Haase is right ahead of him. He does not want a championship lead being eaten into at this point in time. And as we're on to the penultimate lap, Jarno Koch knows if he finishes ahead of Sven Haase, that's going to be half a battle reduced as we head to the Expo in 4 short weeks' time. But haven't got long left to decide that 5th place. It's probably going to be a decision for 5th place now. At the pace Sven Haase is going, he's sort of matching just maybe slightly shy of the top 4 right now. So this is going to settle in. We've got to lock in now as Haase and Koch for P5.
Yep, not that far away from hitting the white flag lap for one final time here at Circuito de Navarro. The final track and car combination will be revealed on the 19th of October 2024. And then, of course, we can't forget about the Asetek Simsports Community Trophy. We'll have the Duquesne D08 LMP3s, but it's going to be down to you, the community, to vote for that final track, where the finale of that, where a set of Asetek Simsports Forte S pedals worth €625 will be up for grabs for the winner. And at the moment, Leon Harhoff is leading that charge. Okay, white flag lap, here we go. Adam Isaacson leading Pablo Espes by 0.6 of a second. Espes just took a 10th out of him. There looks to be a possible change. Manfredotti fires it up the inside through T1 on Lewis Bellica for 3rd.
Yeah, so Manfredotti now up into those podium spots now. Further back, though, Ade Lopez, and that's David Bosca battling away, scrapping away for position here. Ade Lopez able to just about stay ahead, with David Bosca taking a wild ride across the curbs. Couldn't quite get that move done, but look at this now. Sven Haase leading a train that goes from P5 all the way to P11 in David Bosca. And any one of them could grab a position here or there. Pablo Espes looking to see if he can try and grab a race win here ahead of Adam Isaacson in the closing stages. Can Isaacson be the one to make it 8 from 8? Could it be Pablo Espes? There's not long left to find out.
Yes, indeed. We're 50% of the way through this 10th and final lap. A total of about 25, well, quite a lot of racing, to be honest with you. Probably the best of about 30 miles. And there is Adam Isaacson coming through this complex into the left hand and now into the right. This will be turn number 11. Just a handful to go. It's going to be the 90 left coming up here at T12. Down the hill we go. Next up, swing it wide to the right. Now into the left. Here at turn number 13. 2 to go. Adam Isaacson is going to make it 8 from 8 very shortly. But does Pablo Espes have something in the tank? With 2 corners to go, with that distance, it's not going to quite happen. But out of the final corner, we go to the Expo with 8 different winners from 8 different races. Adam Isaacson punches the throttle to the floor and is going to lead the charge to the line. Pablo Espes takes second. Isaacson cannot believe it. Neither can we. 8 races, 8 winners. You better wait for the Expo finale because it's set to be a cracker.
This is Adam Isaacson, who did not finish the first race of today, classified as P18 in the first race, goes on to take the victory here. This is what this championship is all about. Yes, you might not have had one good race, but this reverse grid just gives you a second chance, second wind to get you a result there. And for Adam Isaacson, he could have easily thrown in the towel after the first race. He didn't, and he's rewarded with the second race of tonight with a race victory. Brilliant to see, and he did well to keep Pablo Espes at bay.
He did, beating him by just over half a second, 0.57 at the end. Well, adaptability, unpredictability. How many other superlatives can we add in a short time frame, Kieran?
We'll do our best. I'm sure we will. There's got to be. Where's my thesaurus? I'll find it.
Oh, no, you bring that with you to the expo. We might need it. Hopefully, it's a pocket one. But there are your provisional results for round 4, race 2. 8 different winners from 8 different races. SimRC's Adam Isaacson from Sweden wins the race by 0.547 of a second ahead of Pablo Espes. Lorenzo Manfredotti, Lewis Belliker, Sven Haase round out the top 5. Jarno Koch, Haraldo Chataltis and Felix Vetter round out the top 8. Dino Lombardi, so close but yet so far. Could he be another surprise winner of the Expo finale in 4 weeks? Well, we'll have to wait and find out. Ade Lopez rounds out the top 10 ahead of David Bosga, Hendrik Augustin, Sergio Ferrero. Then we've got Octavio Rondeletto, Simone Passione and Daniel Ingelmo, Leon Harhoff, Tobias Köken, Simone Maria Marceno unfortunately out on lap 6 with Johan Rouillet not able to make it to the grid on time. That is the finishing order. And the Navarra dust has quite literally settled, Kieran, but I think the adrenaline spike is still through the roof.
Absolutely. I mean, 2.4 miles for a circuit that only opened about 14 years ago. It's delivered an absolute cracker, hasn't it? That was great fun. And you put the MX-5s in there as well. You rarely get a bad race with some MX-5s in there as well. A circuit that, I'd happily come back to. That was amazing fun.
Oh, that was awesome. That was 100% bang for your buck, really, to be honest with you. It's just the case of seeing how the drivers were going to react to the different nuances of the cars, and obviously with the fixed setup and everyone's in the same boat. We are going to give it a couple of minutes. Hang on a second. I have got a message on Discord. 2 seconds. Sorry about this. I'm trying. I can't multitask to save my life. So.
Well, what I'll lead with then is 8 from 8. We do take the storyline to the Expo in 4 short weeks' time, and well, surely it can't be 10 from 10. Surely it can't, but maybe it could. That's all the more reason to join us at the Expo and watch along, because it's going to be a cracking season finale. That's for sure. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just. Let me just see. Sorry, I'm just actually trying to get Adam Isaacson in at the moment. So, bear with. So sorry about this, folks. Oh, okay. Let me just see. Yeah, 8 from 8. Yeah, it's quite interesting. Well, you know what? I think I'm going to ask. I'm just typing a question.
Is the question who thought the word thesaurus would come up in tonight? 3.
No. Okay. There we go. Right, let's get him in. Adam Isaacson. Can you believe it? You're the 8th different winner in this series so far. Well done.
Thank you, mate. It's quite insane. A bit bittersweet considering the season I've had, but still feels amazing.
I mean, the move that you sent on, I think it was on Dino Lombardi through turn 1 and into turn 2. You literally launched it like a Swedish missile. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, this series, because yes, like you said, you haven't had the best run of luck, but it's been the case of finding what your strengths are, but having a laugh while doing it. Am I right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, especially racing these cars with a bit less horsepower, I find really fun. The draft just makes the racing so good.
What's been your favourite so far? Has it been this one? I mean, forget about the win more than anything. But what has been your most fun car and circuit combination so far out of the ones that have been announced? Because you've still got one more, which will be in 4 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, this one is definitely a contender. It's a really fun combo, and I really like the MX-5. And also the Formula Ford I found it really fun to drive.
Yeah, well, let's not talk about the incident you had with Pablo at that point. I think with a couple of laps to go, if I remember correctly, in race 1. But still a lot of fun, great close racing. What are your thoughts going into? What are you hoping for, possibly? Because myself and Kieran, we don't know what the car and track combinations are going to be. What are you hoping for?
I mean, I'd have to hope for another MX-5 race.
Wishful thinking. But no, congratulations on the W here in race 2 of round 4. Anyone you'd like to say a big thanks to? I know you're part of the Sim RC crew. I think who is it? I remember from that team. I think it's French driver, likes his TCR cars. Corentin Guignez, if I remember correctly. Is he still with the crew?
Yes, that would be correct.
Yeah. So who would you like to give a shout out to tonight, Adam, before we let you go, buddy?
Well, of course, the whole SimRC team, always supporting, and also Simone Posoni. We had some really good practice together for all the other rounds, but also for this one.
Brilliant. Adam Isaacson, our 8th different winner from 8 different races. Well done tonight on the W. We look forward to catching up with you, hopefully, at the Expo finale in 4 weeks' time for the final round. Well done tonight.
Thank you, mate.
Well, there we go. Adam Isaacson joining us there. And I think, Kieran, you know what? I think it's time really to sort of close this chapter of the road to the Sim Racing Expo, wouldn't you say? What are your final thoughts after what have been 4 intense weeks? Well, 4 intense rounds per competition. So the Community Trophy and the GT500. What are your final thoughts before we close things out tonight?
Well, I mean, looking at the racing for the past 4 rounds, 8 races, it's been brilliant to watch, brilliant to call in the sort of short time I've been here, which has been incredible. Bring on the Expo, because I'm expecting more of the same. The drivers have set some high standards in terms of wheel-to-wheel action. You know, bring on the Expo and let's sort out a champion, because I'm really looking forward to it now. I'm more hyped than ever.
So before we close things out, I've got to say a few thank yous. A big thank you to you all for watching on the ADAC SimRacing Expo YouTube and Twitch channels. Big thank you to Ryan Gill behind the scenes doing our broadcast production. Big thank you to our partners Asetek Simsports, Gridfinder, Logitech G, SimStaff, Ready Set Sim, and our media partner Traction.gg. Head to their website. You want to get your day or weekend tickets now, because there is limited availability coming up very shortly, as in amount of people that can be allowed in per day. But with over 70 exhibitors, with 3 live days of panels with some of the people, Tim Heinemann's going to be there from Sim to DTM. He's now running in the NLS. We're going to have Steffi Bell from Init Esports, who is a trailblazer in that kind of thing. We're going to have people such as con una simulazione reference Assetto Corsa. Maybe we might get some updates about AC Evo. You never know. There is so much still to come. Stay tuned on our social media channels for more information on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn. And don't forget, join us from the 18th to the 20th of October 2024, the 10th anniversary of the ADAC SimRacing Expo, when it all started at the Nürburgring Boulevard on September 2014 with just 11 exhibitors. And look how far we've come now. Keep your eyes peeled for more future news. And if you haven't got your tickets, get them whilst you still can. But we'll see you for the live finales, Friday the 18th for the Community Trophy and Sunday the 20th for the Digital GT500. On behalf of Kieran McGinley, my name's Alex Goldschmidt. We'll see you live from the Dortmund Messe in 4 weeks' time. Good night.